the knitting stitch. It's a great stitch to use for sweaters, for mittens. You can work it vertically, horizontally, diagonally. In this case, we're going to look at this wonderful little New England sweater, and you'll see that it actually looks like a knitted stitch. This is as close as I get to knitting, just so you know. All right, so we're going to start again with a little waist knot. We're going to do one straight little vertical stitch over one row. This helps to cover up the area and to create a better finish to the end and beginning of each row. I'm going to come up one row directly below, and I'm going to sink my needle 2 rows above in line with the top of that little straight stitch. On the right-hand side, I'm going to come up in the shared hole and sink my needle to the right of that little stitch. Now I'm ready to go. I'm going to drop 1 row, sink my needle 2 rows above on the left, come back in the same shared hole, up 2 stitches on the right. And that is the basic design of your knitting stitch. It really helps if you do each row individually, but you can work them across if you prefer to, but I find this is the easiest way to stitch the vertical knitting stitch. Now to start the next row, again, I'll do a little straight stitch to the right, just to give it a more finished look. Come up directly below it, up 2 on the left, shared hole, up 2 on the right, drop a row, up 2 on the left, and you'll start to see that the V's start to meet each other. And what I mean by that is your V's are coming together so that it looks like the piece has been knitted. Now this is a great stitch, as I said, to use for mittens, sweaters, coats, the edges of, like the cuffs of sweaters. You can also take this stitch and turn it horizontally. Exactly the same way you did it, only we're going to try it this way. We do a little straight stitch, as we did before. Now I'm going to take 1 stitch to the left, come up, go up 2 rows on the top, shared hole, 2 rows on the bottom. Exactly the way you did the first one, the vertical. So as you can see, it works equally well vertically as it does horizontally, depending on the direction that you want to create. So in the case of the sweater I just showed you, everything was running vertically, but there'll certainly be ample times when you would want to run the stitch horizontally. And that's your knitting stitch.